What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money.
When Shakur said it was terrible, he wasn't being petty. He was being real. He understands the business side. He knows the money talks louder than talent now. But underneath that, you can feel the disappointment of a fighter who trained his whole life for real challenges. He's watching someone he respects, Tank Davis, turn toward what looks like a payday instead of a test.
But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he...
Here, Shakur goes further. He points out that Tank could actually make more money fighting him. That's a powerful statement because it shows that this isn't just about finances. It's about fear, choice, and risk. So while the internet hypes it up, Shakur sees through the smoke. He's basically saying, if you're really about legacy, fight someone your size. Fight me.
It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has
Jake
better
Paul
boxing.
now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that.
Kyle Forgerd from Nelk admits something crucial. This one's more advanced. And now, we're seeing that blueprint evolve to the point where even Tank Davis, a generational champion, is getting pulled into the content economy. Shakur's frustration makes even more sense when seen through this lens. The sport is repeating the same mistake, just with a bigger audience.
I think it's going to be a great event. Every time I fight is fireworks. Jake Paul coming in, you know, he's much bigger, he's much stronger.
When Tank Davis says it'll be a great event, you can feel the pride, but also the shift. He doesn't call it a great fight. He calls it a great event. That one word tells a story. Tank's self-awareness is clear. He knows this is less about belts and more about buzz. He calls Jake Paul bigger and stronger. He's setting expectations, admitting the physical gap, but selling the spectacle. Tank's used to fireworks. He knows fans want knockouts, not nuance. So he plays into that energy. But what's missing here is purpose. In Shakur's world, a fight like this dilutes greatness. To him, Tank's career was built on ferocity, not flash. And now, seeing Tank lean into promotion feels like betrayal to the purists. When Tank smiles and calls it fireworks, Shakur hears circus. And that's where the real divide begins. One fighter protecting legacy, the other chasing legacy through spectacle.
You know what I'm saying? My only concern is, you know, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away.
Calvin Ford, Tank's mentor, cuts through the noise like only a trainer can. His concern? The gloves. That might sound small, but in boxing, gloves define power. 12-ounce gloves are for sparring, not sanctioned fights. So what he's really saying is, this isn't real boxing. It's theater. Calvin's protecting his fighter, but he's also revealing something deeper. They're treating this fight like an exhibition, not a proving ground. He mentions the 2 pounds away detail, signaling that Tank's stepping into unfamiliar territory. It's a subtle warning. You can't bend physics. Jake's bigger, heavier, and built differently. Even for a champion like Tank, physics don't care about belts. Ford's comment grounds everything Shakur's been saying. This fight isn't equal. It's entertainment disguised as competition. In that light, Shakur's anger feels righteous. Because behind every flashy promo and Netflix headline, there are fighters who sacrificed their entire lives just to be worthy of the real thing.
Jake Paul brings something to media and to boxing. You cannot miss a fight. I like it, V. I like the drama it's bringing, I'll be honest.
But honestly, nobody really cares about this fight.
Yeah, are you going to watch it?
Yeah, of course. That's how it's going to go. Nobody really cares, but everybody's going to watch it. Like,
V said, nobody cares about this fight.
Brandon Mason captures the public mood perfectly. Nobody really cares, but everyone's watching. That paradox defines modern boxing. Fans complain that Jake Paul fights aren't real, yet they tune in anyway. Why? Curiosity, chaos, the chance to see something unexpected. Mason's words reveal the uncomfortable truth. Hype outweighs heritage. It's not about respect for skill anymore. It's about spectacle fatigue. Everyone knows it's absurd, but they'll still pay to see it. For Shakur, that's infuriating, because while these exhibitions break records, real fighters struggle to get airtime. Mason's line draws the border between two worlds, the sport of boxing and the business of boxing. And somewhere between those two worlds, fighters like Shakur Stevenson are screaming to be heard.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Raleigh Romero steps in with the voice of reason, or at least the voice of the realist. He says you can't be mad at someone for doing what's best for them. And that's true.
Like, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
In the end, boxing is a lonely road. Every fighter has to protect his own interests, his own family, his own body. Raleigh doesn't judge Tank for chasing the bag. He respects the grind. But then, he brings up something deeper, legacy. What happens if Jake Paul actually wins?
I believe that this is a mismatch, and I believe that Jake Paul will knock Tank Davis out, maybe in the third, maybe in the fourth round. Tank will try to move, he will try to stick and move. It's not going to work out for him, and he will eventually get knocked out. And to be honest, I don't give him any chance.
Alex Pereira doesn't sugarcoat it. He calls it what it is, a mismatch. To him, Jake Paul's size and power could knock Tank out by round 4. He doesn't mean it disrespectfully. He's just breaking it down from a fighter's eye view. Pereira knows what it's like to fight bigger men. He's seen the physics play out in real time. Jake isn't some clown anymore. He's big, athletic, and improving. And while Tank might have his sharper skills, skill can erase a 70-pound gap.
Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
Tyrone George Gordon's words capture the chaos perfectly. Just weeks ago, Jake Paul was calling out Anthony Joshua, a heavyweight. Now he's talking about Tank Davis, a lightweight. That's not ambition, that's marketing. It's Netflix boxing, part sport, part show. Tyrone laughs, half in disbelief, half in exhaustion. He's scrolling social media, trying to confirm if it's even real. That's how bizarre boxing has become. The line between real fights and viral content has blurred. A heavyweight 1 month, a 135-pounder the next.
At Tank Davis or Jake Paul. So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy?
Tyson Fury's take is fascinating because he understands both sides of the game. He asks the real question, better at what? Is Tank Davis better at fighting? Absolutely. But Jake Paul? He's better at selling, better at promoting, better at creating chaos. Fury doesn't say it with hate. He says it with experience. He knows the business side better than anyone. He's sold stadiums, broken pay-per-view records, and stirred controversy with every word.
Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really...
But even he acknowledges it's something grim. In modern boxing, being better at fighting doesn't guarantee being the bigger star. Jake's mastered the social game, and that's why he keeps getting these fights. Tyson's analysis draws a line between fighter and showman. Tank is a fighter. Jake is a showman. But in 2025, showmen get the main event.
Entertaining fight, to be honest. Jake Paul has a lot of followings, a lot of guys that are going to come and watch, and that gives the opportunity for other fighters to be seen on those cards, you know. So a lot of people don't agree, but at the end of the day, for me, it's entertainment.
Benavidez Sr. looks at it from a promoter's perspective. He admits it's entertainment. He admits Jake Paul brings eyeballs. And with those eyeballs come opportunities for other fighters. In a way, he's right. These crossover events have given smaller names big exposure. But that's the double-edged sword. Because the spotlight isn't built on merit, it's borrowed from spectacle.
And if we can take boxing to the next level and give other fighters opportunities to be displayed and for other people, YouTubers and all that, to be seen, and hopefully all the YouTubers and people there are just there.
He calls it taking boxing to the next level. And maybe for some, that's true. But Shakur's vision of the next level is different. His next level is technical mastery, legacy, respect, not trending hashtags and viral knockouts. Benavidez's optimism is sincere. He wants the sport to grow, but even he knows it's not pure growth. It's entertainment growth. Jake Paul is a catalyst, not a craftsman. He's expanding boxing's reach, yes, but also diluting its identity. For a veteran like Shakur, that's not progress. That's mutation. Benavidez's take reminds us that even those inside the sport are torn between the money and the meaning.
Jake was some shit, he ain't gonna fight back. He said, fact. So I said, you gotta take him serious. You get what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you.
Calvin Ford circles back with a warning that sounds like advice. Take Jake Paul seriously. He's seen the clips, the mental games, the obsession. Jake's not just coming to play. He's coming to prove he belongs. Ford's concern shows respect. He knows confidence can kill even the most skilled fighter if underestimated.
Well, listen, he's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that picking his fights, I can't get my head around it.
He talks about Jake's focus, his intensity, his preparation. This isn't a man showing up for clicks anymore. It's a man obsessed with proving a point. Ford's tone changes the narrative slightly. It's no longer just a circus, it's a potential danger. Even Shakur, if he's listening, would probably nod at that, because respect for preparation is universal among fighters.
If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep.
Tony Bellew, the former cruiserweight champion, brings it home with blunt honesty. He calls Jake a marketing genius. That's his skill, selling fights, not necessarily winning them.
He'll have a lot of smoke blown up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, with 10 ounce, well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards, he's gonna need them.
Bellew can't wrap his head around people treating Jake's fights as legitimate competition. He respects the hustle, but not the hype. Then he breaks down the danger. If Tank lands clean, Jake's going to sleep. Period. That's not opinion. That's physics and experience talking.
Do you think that it's fair to call them boxers now? We talk about Logan brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout.
He then mentions the exhibition conditions. Big gloves, headgear, safety. That alone proves Shakur's point. It's not real boxing. It's boxing's cosplay version.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights. Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult. It is meant to take away from a potentially glorious moment for Jake.
Tank Davis kept it real. He said Jake Paul is a boxer now, not a YouTuber, not a gimmick. The man trains, he fights, he commits. Tank didn't like the Tyson matchup because of age and legacy, but he admitted Jake came to finish the job. Whether he could or not, that's another story. But from one fighter to another, Tank gave him that nod. Respect from champion means something. Even if he believes Jake couldn't pull it off, he knows effort when he sees it, and that's what counts in the fight game.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult.
Chael Sonnen, ever the analyst, pointed out the real difference. Not in skill, but in salesmanship. Tank, he said, can't sell a fight the way the Pauls can. Jake and Logan built an empire not from belts, but from attention. They turned controversy into currency. Chael noted that their strategy wasn't about being the best. It was about facing the best and controlling the spotlight. Tank fights to win. Jake fights to trend and win. It's a clash between old-school fighters and new-age promoters. Skill versus spectacle. Then Chael broke down that tense face-off. He said Tank looked uneasy, not scared but off. Rhythm. Jake towered over him, and the visual alone told a story. Size became part of the marketing. Chael called it a compliment inside an insult. Everyone mocked the mismatch, yet deep down, they acknowledged Jake's growth. The man who started as a meme was now standing across from a pound-for-pound killer. It was surreal. Chael saw what everyone secretly thought. Jake's presence alone had shifted the energy.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't have no reaction. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder.
Crawford didn't mince words. He couldn't even process it. A 135-pounder versus a 200-pounder, he said. It didn't add up. He called it what it was. Too big, too dangerous.
Jake too big for Tank. He's just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
Jake lands one good punch, he warned, and it's over. For a fighter as technical and stoic as Bud Crawford, that kind of blunt honesty hit hard. It wasn't hate. It was realism. You can't skip physics. Skill is one thing. Size is another. And this fight tested both in extreme.
It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just going to, stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
Mike Perry had a different lens. He saw chaos. It's a money grab, he laughed, but he didn't dismiss it. He imagined Tank moving sharp, sticking and slipping, using speed as a weapon. Jake's power against Tank's precision, an experiment in opposites. To Perry, it wasn't about legacy. It was about spectacle. Both men cashing in, both men chasing risk. He didn't know who would win, but he knew everyone would watch, and that's the only guarantee boxing needs these days.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts here?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe
it.
about it?
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Oh, hell yeah.
Triple C didn't hold back. He called the face-off cringe, but he loved it anyway. The size difference, the tension, it was absurd and electric that he believed Tank's danger came from being underestimated. The smaller guy's dangerous, he said, and he was right. Then came the business talk, Tank making $40 million. Cejudo admitted it straight up. Would I fight Jake Paul for that? Hell yeah. Beyond pride, this was generational. Fighters realizing Jake's world might just change theirs too.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane.
The host couldn't believe it. Boxing has gone too far, he said. He laid it out plain, 135 pounds versus a cruiserweight, nearly 100 pounds apart. An exhibition that blurred sanity. But that disbelief, that outrage, it was the fuel Jake Paul wanted. The fight wasn't meant to make sense. It was meant to make noise. Every headline, every reaction clip, every "this is crazy," all of it fed the machine.
Because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense.
Jeff Mayweather called it what it was, a mismatch with a purpose. Jake's bigger, stronger, heavier. But as an exhibition, fine. It's entertainment. It sells.
What do you think of Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis? I know on Instagram you called it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Ryan Garcia didn't hide his disgust, though. Boxing's becoming WWE, he said. To him, it wasn't the sport he loved anymore. It was theater, and he refused to clap for it. Yet, deep down, even he knew people would still watch. The circus always fills the seats. So what is this fight, really? A competition? A show? Or the birth of something new? Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis isn't just a matchup, it's a mirror. It shows how far boxing has drifted from purity and how far spectacle has risen. Every fighter, every fan, every critic, they all play their part. Whether it ends in a knockout, a draw, or just another viral moment, one truth remains. This is boxing's new era, where power meets publicity and everyone's watching.